really about my binge drinking habits. It's been
Shut up. Oh, no, we're on. Hello. I hate it when you do that to me.
what? Just put you on?
Yeah.
So you can talk smack about minorities?
Right. Stop.
Just
How are you? Hi, Dan Barrett.
I'm good. Yesterday, oh, Michael, you missed it. Yesterday, a bus crashed into somebody's car, like, right outside.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty dramatic. Other than that, I'm good. I'm exhausted. I'm, like, running around doing too many things.
Okay.
But I'm excited about the beer this week, because I feel like I have a good beer.
Good.
It just feels like I'm running a marathon. It's like I've only worked one day this week so far, so that's probably not a good sign.
No. You're still doing that not working Monday, Friday objective?
Yep. Not working Monday, Friday, or Saturday, Sunday successfully, but it just means that like my days are like just like packed every day. So it's cool.
Good.
I did my taxes. I got my tax return back.
You got a return?
Yeah. No, you didn't do your tax returns already?
Oh, gosh. No, it's
I filed mine for this year in April of last year. I always try to file a year ahead.
Stop.
No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I got my thing back, so I got all the... I mean, they're still filing it, but the tax guy finished the thing.
Okay.
So not tax return, tax... That's what they call it, right? Tax return? Or is a tax return the money you get?
Yeah, I think the tax return is the money. You filed your taxes. That's what I'm saying. You got a return?
Oh, no, yeah, I filed my taxes. It was funny because I never get a return now that I'm on business since they tax me at like 42%. Thanks, Obama. But
I was going to say, if you're getting a return, you're doing something very wrong.
Oh, yeah, horrible. But then it's funny because state-wise I got a return. That's all due to the baby. The baby, we racked up all these cool baby points.
Right.
To make up for the $1 billion we spent on, like, blankets and stuff that he doesn't even use. So anyway, they're like, oh, you get like a $400 state tax return. And I was like, awesome. And he's like, but I just applied it. I went ahead and applied it to next year's taxes. And I was like, yay.
Great.
Because I was like, I want the $400 now. It feels like free money even though it's my money.
Right. Yeah, it's your money that you overpaid. Yeah, not good. Listen, we have to get started on this call because there's so much to chat about and discuss about. Not to mention beers, but...
All right, let's do the official intro.
Last week we went like an hour long, Dan.
So. Official intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's SEO and IPAs. It is the fun weekly hangout about inbound marketing, entrepreneurship, and more for cool people of all shapes, stripes, and colors. As always, I am Daniel Barrett here from Two Friendly Nerds, the world's friendliest internet marketing and web design company, and with me, as always, is the brains behind the operation, officially the only reason anyone ever watches the show. She's starting a new Riot Girl band called Al Girl Rhythm. It's Patti DeLessio from reinventinteractive.com. Patti, how are you, my wonderful friend?
I'm good. That was a good one, Dan. I like it.
Al Girl Rhythm. You get the Riot Girl thing. It's got rhythm in there. It's a solid band name.
Yep.
Tim, my best friend, told me yesterday that one of his students asked him if they could cover a song that we wrote together in their band, and he was like, sure, whatever. And the band's name is Divorce Lawyers. Awesome band name. Killer band name. Loving it.
That is good.
It's so good. I was like upset that I did not think of that. Tim used to always say to people, "You look divorced," which is like a really funny thing to say. Anyway, out of context, it's a little weird. But let's talk about beers, because you don't want to chat. You're all business today, so let's talk about beers. Patti, what do you got?
Listen, landing page optimization is some fun stuff. All right, this week I have, this is by Boulevard, which is one of my new favorite finds, my new favorite breweries. They're the guys that do Tank 7. They're out of Kansas.
I don't know that.
Yes, you know Tank 7. Tank 7's fantastic. That's that farmhouse ale that I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
I've done it on the show. Yeah. So anyway, it's called 80 Acre, and it's a hop wheat beer.
Okay.
Nice label. Yeah.
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 Not really. I take that back. I do like farm imagery. Never mind.
Yeah. See the big hop in the back of the. Anyway,
Yeah.
these guys are from Kansas City, Missouri. Sorry, I said Kansas. Okay, Kansas City, Missouri. And it is a hoppy wheat beer, which I think I'm going to like. Right?
I think it's totally possible.
Yeah, it's got a lot of hop in the nose. I've never had this before. I love their Tank 7, by the way, which is a huge favorite of mine. And here we go. Oh, it's good. It's light. Perfect summer beer.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very quite light. I guess that's the weediness.
Yeah, it's a hoppy wheat beer, and I think I would like some hops in my wheat. So there you go.
Okay.
It's really good.
You got your wheat and my hops.
You've got your hops in my wheat. No, this is great. Great. Oh my gosh, I'm very pleased. Okay, way to go, Boulevard. You're one of my favorites. Oh, and it's ranked really well. I've got the Beer Advocate up. It's got a BA score of 88, very good, and the Bros give it a 90, an outstanding ranking.
Wow.
It's got 1,409 ratings, which means I'm really late to the game on this brewer. So there you have it. All right, my friend, what are you cheersing with me this week?
This week I've got another beer from the. Sorry, I lost you. I lost the Google Plus. Yeah. Okay, there you go. So I got another beer from the Maine Brewing Company.
Ooh.
This one is Mo.
Mo, I love Mo.
Yep, and it says Mo, a.k.a. Madeline and Oliver. Welcome to the world. Of course, my son's name is Oliver, so I thought that was pretty cool. And we got a friend named Madeline. So it's a bottle conditioned pale ale.
It's terrific.
Yeah, and it's got a very high rating on the Old Beer Advocate with a 95 and 100.
Oof.
So I don't have a glass.
Oh no.
The glass is still dirty from last week.
The week before last, yeah.
I'll clean it out today. So let's just chug this right on the thing. Cheers. Yeah. I was very excited to drink this, and that continues to this day. So there you go.
Very good. What?
No, it's excellent. It's really good.
Terrific. Of course, it's terrific.
That's very good. Yeah, it's good. It's really so it's got a lot of hop, obviously, but it's not overwhelming. It's a really nice.
Yep.
I don't really have the words to describe it, but I really like it. It's one of these beers where there's nothing about it that kind of like bashes you in the head with it. It's not like this beer has prunes in it, you know. It's like just whatever, and it's the beer is called Prune Buggy, and it whatever. It's got some funny picture. It's just like a straight head pale ale. It's really good.
Yeah.
And super solid. 6.09 something or other alcohol, so not super heavy on the alcohol. Yeah, this is great. I'm into it.
I love it.
Yeah. This is just very good beers.
Yes.
Also, it's almost comically large to drink from. So I kind of feel like I'm drinking from a wine bottle.
It wants to be poured, my friend. It wants to be in a glass.
I know. I'll pour it in a glass tonight when I finish it off. My wife told me I should just finish the beers. I've had this whole thing about me transferring the beer from here at the office to home when I only take a sip now. And it's always spilling in my bag or like in my pockets. I try all these different ways to like carry it, and I can never seem to get it home without some sort of massive disaster happening.
It's like drink the damn beer. Well, there's open container laws. You really shouldn't have it in the car, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to drink a pint of beer now. It's 12 o'clock. I'm not Patti DeLessio from Reinvent Interactive. Drinking on the job. Okay, let's talk about landing page optimization. Patti, I'm going to let you take this one while I find the link and I put it on the screen. This was the article that you wanted to talk about. Obviously, I do a lot of landing page stuff. I was curious about what made this your pick of the week. So why don't you just talk about it a little bit, and I'll put the link up on the screen for everybody.
I like this article. I mean, I'm like a big nerd about kind of the testing and the which test won. I don't know if you follow those guys also, but when you do SEO, when you do conversion optimization, there's always these weird little tricks that can make a difference, and I'm kind of obsessed with kind of gathering those and what the best language is for the call to action button, how to best organize the page. And this was, I thought, a super fun conversation to listen to. Of course, it's about an hour. This article contains a video. But I loved the ideas. I liked the way that they played off each other. They're all, very kind of fun personalities as it is. Rand, of course, I'm a big fan of. But yeah, anyway, I enjoyed this. The article, so there's an hour-long video, and then they kind of pulled out about 5 ideas here that I thought would be fun to dive into.
Okay.
Okay. I think leading with the moral of the story, which is to always test.
Okay.
Not to give away the ending, but it's always important to test. There's a lot of ways to do that, and there's some wrong ways to do that too. We can kind of touch on that as well. But I don't know. Let's jump in, and I have a couple fun questions here for you. Maybe we can end with those. Kind of some quandaries, but.
Sure. Some like never have I evers.
Right. 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 Exactly. But I always say when I have this conversation with my client, and a lot of this you can apply sometimes to kind of the home page or to any process or funnel that gets your user from wherever their entry point is to what you want them to do, which is buy, become a lead, become a customer, become a client, whatever that call to action is. And usually it begins with just get out of their way, right? Let them get from where they first hear of you, where the awareness happens, to where they become a client, where the trust happens. So, a lot of times they need to know what it exactly is that you offer, right? Like how you can help them, and then also what do they, the visitor, need to do to get it. And sometimes people just really stumble over getting that right. They get in the way, they put too many options out there, they structure the content in such a poor way where you land on the page and you were like, what is it that you're offering me? Why do I care about it? What do I need to do to take action?
Because I think most people think like, okay, the more options I give people, the more likely people will be to take one of my options, right? So I give them a bunch of links, one of them's going to hit, right? Or I give them a bunch of different stuff. And it's actually the opposite, right? There's that whole paradox of choice thing where the more choices you give someone, the harder it is to make the choice, and so the more likely they are to just be like, I don't want to make this choice right now.
Right, but I've seen it's always situational, right? It depends on what it is, what your offer is. Again, the trust that you've built from that point. Historically, where you are with that relationship, right?
All the way back to when you were kids, when you pushed that guy that time. He remembers that.
Yeah.
He's just like, he thinks he's so cool.
No, but there's this. I have seen discussions, and I've seen experts within this field. I go to Inbound every year, and I'm always kind of put to the test with some new ideas, or there's always that outlier. There's always that exception to the rules, right? These rules are meant to be broken. But one of the things is that if your offer is a little bit pricey or takes a little bit more trust to build, having that intro offer within the page on the side actually is a really good option. So again, it all depends on...
Meaning like what?
What'd you say? Meaning like what?
Yeah. So we got a high ticket thing. Is that so? The landing page is for my high ticket thing. Is that the situation you're saying, or just like I'm eventually selling an $8,000 coaching program, but I'm going to have kind of like a lead magnet or a free thing? Is that what you're saying, or?
Yep, a lead magnet, a free thing, $20 ebook, whatever it is, to give them something to that they can walk away with less commitment, such that they'll come back, they'll remember you, and it could be an intro into that larger program, right? So I've seen that on a landing page that worked really, really well. That was an example of something to do and to, because again, you're capturing them as a lead, you're capturing the email, you're capturing a small sale, and you know it'll start building that trust, so then you can make that offer again. So
right.
this article, he pulls out what 5 things real quick. So he pulls out, they mention social proof, mentions how the design can distract from the offer, where design is actually impeding you from getting that action that you want.
Right.
The call to action jumps the gun, and that's more about the language on the call to action button itself. That copywriting isn't compelling. You know, there's either too much language on the page. The example they use is sort of a self-centered example. We can talk about that. And then also some really interesting tips about the benefit of what you should do about a benefit-driven header, and then how to use a subheader.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good. So some of this stuff is a little bit new. I don't know if you know. I mean, the social proof isn't new, but I liked what they had to say about the header in particular. So, so the example of the social proof, if you want to bring back up the article, but the sample that they showed was 2 tweets on the page of social proof. And what this person did, actually, to even back it up a little bit further, what they did is they're reviewing 20 landing pages in the video. Okay, they had 300 people actually submit their landing page to be reviewed by this expert panel, right?
Okay.
So it's Rand Fishkin, Gardner, and Peep, Laja, don't know how to pronounce his last name, but these guys are really big heavyweights in this topic area. So we can kind of make fun of these guys a little bit, or we can kind of really drill into the do's and don'ts that they show here, because they were offered up. Right? So the social proof that was given as the 2 tweets, there was no way to click through to sort of, you know, prove it to yourself, right? If you're clicking through. And there was also no image of the actual user, right?
Yeah.
So they said that that's not good, or a name, actually. Yeah. So they said, you know, listen, you know, social proof is social proof, but only if it's actually proving something. This looks a little bit kind of false. It looks as if you could kind of click through, was one of the other comments. So something that I learned quite a while ago, I've seen other folks test on landing pages, is the face pile idea. So having a face along with the social proof really improves the benefit there, the social benefit that you get. So
having an entire pile of faces.
A pile of faces. Well, the face pile is one of those kind of like WordPress plugins, you know, you've got like a whole pile of, you know, several friends or your friends that have liked that page or that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about social proof and increasing trust through the use of social proof on landing pages?
What do I think about it?
Yeah. How do you use it?
So I use testimonials largely, and I'm a big testimonial person. And so my thing is always about, you know, the testimonial ideally answers one of the primary objections you think the person is happening in the first person. So when I go about generating testimonials for my business, for a client business, one of the things is I go out and I solicit testimonials, and I ask for them in a very specific way. Right? I'm like, can you talk about what you were feeling before and what you were feeling after? So that the testimonial ends up coming out like something like, you know, I wasn't sure. In fact, I just posted one like this where it was like, I wasn't sure Dan could help me because I already thought that I knew a lot about Adwords, but after working with him for a day, I realized I'm a giant moron, and I moved to New Mexico where I married a Navajo priestess, and you know, whatever. So, you know, so it's like you sort of a short little journey of saying like, I thought this was an objection that I had, but the objection was met. And yeah, I mean, I always try to use you know, faces and make it real. Put the name, put the website, because I always want to kind of show that it's a real person. By the way, I'm gonna see if I can show you. My baby just came in, and now he's crawling on the ground. I don't know if we can get him. Oh, there he is.
Hey. Oh my gosh, he's getting so big.
He's crawling on the ground. What are you doing, buddy? That's you on that screen. Oh, what are you doing?
Hey!
Doing yoga. Baby yoga. He just got here. He wasn't here when I got here.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, I mean, I think testimonials more than anything are the biggest. You know, and we talk about logos and credit card logos and things that are kind of like authority builders, sort of fit into that social proof.
Yeah, like a badge. You know, having
badges and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think they're huge. I mean, more than anything, I think testimonials move the needle, especially if they're specific like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one to do there with the social proof is that if you are asking for likes on Facebook, but you only have like 34 people that already like you, don't do that. That's going to work in the anti-social proof column, right?
Right, or just don't display your number, right?
Don't put that up there. And then also my tip for how to use testimonials is, for most industries, don't have a testimonials page. You know, use those testimonials almost as interstitials within other content on the page or on the home page, or, you know, because it's been proven over and over again that the testimonials link or tab or, you know, that page is the least visited page in the whole.
Right. You know, it's interesting what I've started doing, and because I have a testimonials page, and I just, primarily it's for me to keep track of my testimonials and just dump them all on the page. That way I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
The way I've been using it is people ask me for references.
Yeah.
And what I did was make it so that they could contact the people, right? So they could click through and contact the people directly. So it's just like a link to their website, and so you can go email them. And I was like, here's a page of all my references. Like, go contact anyone you like. And so what I'm kind of using it for people who are in the sales process, because what ends up happening is they click through to the thing and they see there's a baby down there. They end up seeing like a whole bunch of where are you going? They see a whole bunch of really positive testimonials and stuff, and it's pretty cool. I won't. Yeah, I'm gonna break my baby if I roll my seat though.
Hi.
Hey! Oh, May! Oh, you're smiling. You're smiling at yourself. You are so full of yourself, you little jerk.
Are you smiling at me? Yeah. No.
Are you smiling at Patti? Look at Aunt Patti. There's Aunt Patti.
Hi. Yay! Kick. Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I would take your.
That's a great idea. I love that. That's a great idea. And this is probably a link that maybe isn't public on the website, but you can share it very easily.
Oh, mine's public because I'm not good at it. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Who
Okay.
does SEO? Nobody. Not me.
Not you. No. Number 2, design distracts from the goal. He's got 2 examples here on the webpage. So the one is where there's an actual movie rolling in the background. That's going to be distracting.
Yeah, which is the worst. I freaking hate it.
Yeah, so it's almost like just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know?
Right. The other one that drives me crazy that's like that is Parallax Backgrounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Those drive me absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. All right, so scroll down to just a little bit there, Dan.
Okay.
So what the other example of is where he's got what he refers to as the hero shot, which is the cover of that book. Okay. So they did a whole bunch of stuff to kind of say about this. And my first reaction was, okay, if you're giving away that book, the book is even angled in the wrong direction. Like, isn't that bugging you? Don't you want it angled toward the form?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, you know, it's the least of the critiques here, but that was definitely one of them. But the problem here is that it was misrepresenting the offer. They really described this as a bait and switch because you think you're getting this ebook and really you're just getting an advertisement as to why you should buy the book or something to that effect. So that was not good. But I think the big takeaway here is don't make the design take over the goal, right?
Yeah.
All right. The next one is the call to action jumps the gun. So in this example here, the button here says start my
Linode account. Yeah.
Linode account. So there's no, learn more. Like it should be an action that's not take my credit card exactly. It should be.
Well, is that the case though? Because I mean, I would make the case that they may find, so like let's say they find that they can increase that to something much less low risk or whatever, like learn more, right? And I'm sure get like a 50% conversion rate. But if they're getting, let's say, like a 2% conversion rate just on starting new accounts right from this landing page,
Yeah.
that could be very profitable, right? It just kind of depends. So is it always the case that you can't, you could sell an $8,000 thing on a landing page and just
no, absolutely. Absolutely, but I didn't mean take my credit card. Of course, we're trying to sell, and that should be a buy now or something to that effect. And I'm bringing up a document here. One second. I have a collection of my own kind of calls to action, a document that I love and refer to more often than you think, because I'm at the moment where I have to put the text into the button, and I'm like, oh gosh, kind of like, where am I? I'm becoming less creative. So I actually grabbed this list and I build on it as I see really great ones. I'll kind of add that to it.
Cool.
So let me just get it up, because I just maybe I can share it too.
Nice too. When I'm looking at this thing now that I'm reading, and I realize their point is it's not so much that you can't do this, but that this call to action should be after all the copy that justifies why you should do it. So
Yeah.
if you're asking, it's kind of like if you're asking for a purchase, you put the buy thing at the bottom of the sales letter, not all the way up at the top.
Or offer a demo. I think it was Rand or somebody offered this demo. It's sort of like, start my account. There should be something for that. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can bring this up. But yeah, I don't know. How do you get? You're much more creative than I am. I don't mind admitting.
All right, I like that.
So let me see if I can share this. Wait. So here's my list of calls to action that I like.
Yeah.
Hold up. Screen share. Sorry. Okay.
I've used buy now or die trying.
Okay. Can you see my list here, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got everything from real basic stuff. Find out how, read it here. Helpful tips, click here. Listen to the podcast. Get started now, it's free. Try free. 30. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure when I started this list. I probably borrowed some from a list, and then I keep adding to it.
Yeah.
The use of these little kind of carrots, these little side carrots here.
Yeah, I do those a lot. I used recently. I made a landing page where the call to action on the button was "Prove it, nerd boy."
Yeah.
I like that because it's like I also do a lot of claim your spot.
Right. Yeah, that's real popular. But okay, so there's that. The one kind of controversial thing that I wanted to bring up and see if you see what your position. I
think Barack Obama is the worst president in American history. It's a controversy hour with Patti D'Alessio.
No. Is Leadpages.
Yeah.
The use of Leadpages, why reinvent the wheel? They claim that all their stuff has been tested. This is the way to go. What is your thought on Leadpages? Do you use it? Do you borrow from their design?
I used it for a couple months and I stopped.
Yeah.
I use Unbounce for landing pages. Okay. The primary difference being that Leadpages, your editing capability is very limited.
Yes.
I always wanted to move something or do something different. They would never let me, and that would drive me nuts.
Yep.
The Leadpages thing is fine. I mean, as landing pages go, they're fine. They're well designed. The problem is, like, every time I land on a lead page, I'm like, Leadpages.
Oh, Leadpages.
In my head. Yes. And admittedly, like, I'm not the market.
Right.
People who know what Leadpages templates all look like are typically not the person that is being marketed to. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Right.
But to me, it's kind of like an immediate turnoff. The other problem is, like, the landing page in general theoretically should match your overall branding. It's hard to do that in Leadpages. That said, like, now I'm building out a sales funnel for something. I'm using landing pages, and I'm using ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
ClickFunnels is very similar to Leadpages in a lot of ways, although it gives you more control over layout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot less template based than Leadpages is.
Yeah.
So you know, and I use Unbounce. I probably pay $150 a month to Unbounce because of all the freaking clients I have on there. So, you know, it's really nice. You know, even if you're someone like us who's doing this all the time,
right?
It's nice to start from a template because you don't have to start, you know, rebuild the wheel or whatever it is. But I don't like being locked into that because I'm like, I don't want my thing to look like everybody else's thing, and I have unique needs for this project that I need, you know, something else on there. And the thing that bugs me about Leadpages is you just can't do that. It's really targeted at people who have no technical ability whatsoever.
That's right. That's right. And I find myself fighting with it, and some of the it's a little less intuitive for me, actually. I had an issue with it last week where I was pulling my hair out trying to reconstruct a different thank you page, you know, kind of the page after the click. And
I would say if you're trying to reconstruct anything, Leadpages is the your system.
I was banging my head against the wall. And then it was embarrassing because my client knew the answer to the problem that I was having was to remove something from a box. So there was something in the box by default. I needed to remove that to have it listen to me and do what I wanted. And I was like, really? You know, it was really kind of frustrating. But I'm with you. I think landing on it and going, oh, this is that template from Leadpages.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now we're over again. We are on number 4. We're not doing.
Let's speed up. Let's give ourselves 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes to finish it up. What do you want to talk about? Let's do this.
Copywriting isn't compelling. Don't be self-centered. So the example was, you know, kind of not being all about the user that lands on the page, the visitor. It should be why it's good for them, not why it's good for you, and all about me. And you know, so I thought that was sort of interesting. But we can kind of skip to number 5, which is what I really want to talk about, which is the benefit-driven header. So whatever the header is on the phone and header is on the top of the landing page has to be about the benefit to the visitor, right? And to use that subheader to allow you to shorten the header, right? Which I thought, you know, was kind of a little bit of an aha moment. I liked that a lot. And to be very, very clear. So when you land on that page, there's that 3-second opportunity that you have to tell that visitor exactly what it is you're doing there, what the benefits are, why they should keep reading, exactly what they need to do to take advantage of this offer. I think they put a lot of language to page after page in this set of reviews to what are they selling me, what is going on, why is this so confusing, why can't they be clear. So be clear. Use that header needs to be completely benefit driven in most cases, right, as a rule. You need to know what it is, how it helps me, and exactly what I need to do to take advantage of that offer, right? Click here.
I think that, yeah, and it is kind of like the headline grabs your attention. The sub-headline actually tells you literally what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know, I always look at book covers or book titles, right? Books are great for the sub-headers because the sub-headers basically tell you literally what's covered in the book, but the headline is something that kind of like grabs your attention.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm classic for I hate these things where it's like these pieces of software where I'm like, I still have no idea what you do. What does this thing do?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And the other two questions I had on the list, I told you I wanted to throw out some things. Leadpages was kind of one of those, controversial things. The other is when you're building, and I know that you and I both do a lot of this, when you're building a landing page specifically to an AdWords campaign, you have slightly different criteria, right? Or you may have multiple pages depending on the ad group, right? Depending on who kind of you're targeting, what language you're targeting, right? Because you need to really match that. You need to follow that expectation of the click. You know,
well, yeah. I mean, so when you get into AdWords landing page design, you are really talking about quality score. So I mean, you're always optimizing for conversions. That's always your first thing. But then when you're working on an account for a certain extent of time, you start getting into quality score. Quality score is primarily driven by click-through rate. So that's largely controlled at the ad level, but there is a landing page experience element to it. And it's sort of up in the air for like a lot of what that means, but there's a lot of stuff in really high-performing AdWords landing pages that are sort of the opposite of traditional landing pages, like, for example, navigation above the fold. Navigation above the fold in AdWords will typically correlate with an increase in quality score, which is like the exact opposite of what you would typically do on a landing page, right? Things like privacy policy, terms of service, all this like little thing.
You need all that stuff, or else.
Yeah, being like content rich. So typically this was popular like 5 years ago. You'd see like mini sites. Right? It was like
brochure sites, right?
So, Leadpages in particular just put out like an AdWords specific landing page that has navigation above the fold. Yeah. So it's, the extent to which that stuff matters and the extent to which it's worth it to worry about versus the loss in conversion is up for debate, because you can get a lot of quality score increase just by campaign focus and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's a whole tricky question. I haven't found anything where I'm like, that's always my landing page for AdWords. It doesn't necessarily work that way, but
but that is a conversation to have. It's kind of like, well, so you've got this landing page, but where's the traffic coming from? Are you paying for it? What are the other considerations to have? So one landing page doesn't always work for everybody. And again, test, right? Although it's a little harder to test, I would argue, in AdWords, right? Because that's.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
ads and AdWords, but you can't. When you're driving it to multiple different landing pages, it gets like you have to.
Well, typically any, if you're setting up a campaign in the right way, right? You have a very tightly focused ad group, or a lot of times I'll do single keyword ad groups. So you have a single keyword that's driven to a single landing page. Mm-hmm. That's one way of doing that. You're basically testing at that level, and you're spitting out many different landing pages, or you're doing dynamic keyword insertion.
Right.
You have multiple linked ad groups setting to a single landing page, doing dynamic keyword stuff, and that's one of the reasons I pay for Unbounds is the ability to very quickly spin off variations of a landing page and then have that split testing stuff built into it. So you still do it. It's just you got to think about it more.
Yeah.
Anybody should be doing a specific landing page for every new campaign they do, no matter what, even if it's on Facebook or whatever. It's always going to be slightly different depending on your ad copy and all that stuff.
That's right. And test, and track, and...
Testy, 1, 2,
right.
3.
Anyway, there was a lot to say today. I find this stuff really interesting and really fun. And it's great to keep on top of all this stuff. I mean, it's changing. There's always interesting.
Yeah, that's part of the reason it's fun, right? It's always different.
I think so.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you turn in halfway through, you can check out all of our past episodes, as well as catch up on this one at twofriendlynerds.com/hangout. That's TWOfriendlynerds.com/hangout. Or go on to the YouTubes and type in SEO and IPA, and you'll find all our videos there. Patti, as always, you are awesome, super cool, and I appreciate the article. It's very good. And to everybody else out there, please, as always, optimize responsibly.
Optimize responsibly.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week, Wednesday, noon Eastern Standard Time.
Yay! Oh, baby show! Hey!
Baby's drinking beer. No! All right. That was good.
Take it easy, my friend.
All right, bye. See you later.